What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out why America's new F-15EX Eagle 2 is feared around the world. I've done a video on the F-15, obviously, but this is the new F-15EX Eagle 2, which I am very intrigued to learn more about, see why this is kind of like the next big thing, and why it's a good integration or a good iteration I'm looking for, that's the word I'm looking for, of the F-15. And why it could be useful for the US. As always, if you want to watch the videos without me waffling over the top of them, you can certainly do that by going to the description down below, where you will see a link to the original video. What else? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps with that mysterious YouTube algorithm. You enjoying these videos? I'm enjoying them a lot. You know, it's funny, when I was in the bus, I didn't think I'd ever want to do military videos again. But doing military videos that are about equipment seems to be very fascinating to me. Like, I'm genuinely really enjoying it. I do want to branch out and do other stuff as well, but I am really enjoying it. So let me know what you think in the comment section, all right? Anyway, let's shut up, let's pull this up, and let's have a cheeky peek. Oh yeah, this is by American Tactical Fighter as well. Again, like I said, there'll be a link in the description. Make sure you go over there, give it a like and stuff.
After passing its latest test with flying colors, the F-15EX is living up to the name Super Eagle. A U.S. Air Force fighter jet recently took to the skies with a mix of missiles that could make it the most heavily armed fighter ever. The new F-15EX Eagle II, also known as the Super Eagle, carried a mixture of 3 JASSM cruise missiles and 12 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles.
Holy, look at that photo. Is that rendered? That might actually be just rendered. So the big thing for me is when they make these iterations on aircraft that have already been, you know, used. For me, it's not so much like how many missiles can it do, blah, 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 blah. I want to know why they're doing an iteration. Like, what's the main purpose? Because look at the F-35, right? We've got different variations for different purposes, right? We've got the F-35B, I think it is, which is the one that's in the Navy, which can take off vertically. You know, like, there's different like iterations for different things, and I want to know what is it. If it's literally just more missiles, then I don't think that makes too. Well, I mean, if you can do it, why not? But there's got to be more to it than that. Do you know what I mean?
A potent combination that is likely unmatched in the world of fighter jets. The F-15EX is living up to its promise of being a missile truck, hauling large numbers of missiles into battle in ways that stealthy fighters cannot.
So that's what it is. It's just a missile truck, then it can just carry a shit ton of stuff. I guess, you know, if it works at the end of the day, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it needs more than that. Does it? Am I right by saying that? It's the same thing, but it can just carry more weapons? Is that it?
The F-15EX Eagle II is the latest version of the F-15 Eagle fighter jet. Originally designed as an air superiority fighter,
It's a big one, isn't it?
the F-15 first flew in 1972.
Holy, it's old as well, isn't it? 1972? Maybe it is just worth upgrading the amount of weapons it can carry, because it's not going to be able to outfight something like... Obviously, it wouldn't fight an F-22, but what I'm saying is it's not as good at dogfights as something like an F-22 or an F-35, so maybe it is worth just throwing as much ammo on it as possible.
A multi-role version, the F-15E Strike Eagle, first flew in 1986. The F-15EX is the latest and greatest version, first taking to the skies in 2021.
Wow, so it's
new.
new.
The Eagle II resembles previous versions externally, but inside it's a different story. The fighter includes digital fly-by-wire flight controls, large interactive cockpit touchscreens, the fastest mission computer ever installed on a fighter jet.
Wow. So internally then they've upgraded a lot of stuff, and that's what I wanted to know about, because if it was just a case of weapon capabilities, then I don't think that's as big of an upgrade as everyone on the internet's making out. Do you know what I mean? But now it makes sense. Like, if it's got all that stuff on the interior... Yeah, let's go.
The Eagle passive or active warning and survivability system for electronic protection against enemy air defenses. The joint helmet mounted cueing system and it's the first to use the open mission system for easy software and hardware upgrades.
Okay.
Unprecedented firepower.
I mean, it makes sense to put that on an F-15. Like, if you think about it from like a programming standpoint, right, or even just a technology standpoint, if they're doing this new open software thing, which is supposed to be incredibly good for integrating comms between every bit of kit and blah blah blah, why not put it on an upgraded F-15 rather than, you know, making the next 6th-gen aircraft and putting this in it without it being tested first? Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense for this giant... We've heard about this new software that is supposed to be the next big thing where everything can communicate with everything, and it's incredibly important for intelligence and everything, right? Why not test it out first in an F-15? That makes complete sense to me.
The F-15EX is dimensionally identical to previous F-15s, but can carry considerably more firepower. The F-15A, F-15C, and F-15E maxed out at 8 air-to-air missiles. Typically a combination of shorter-range AIM-9 Sidewinder infrared-guided missiles and larger, longer-range AIM-7 Sparrow and later AIM-120 AMRAAM radar-guided missiles. The secret to the F-15EX's huge payload boost are its new advanced missile and bomb ejector rack missiles racks.
Interesting.
These new racks, which carry missiles and bombs and provide data links between the aircraft and the munition.
So how many can it carry?
The F-15EX to carry 50% more air-to-air missiles.
So 12.
For a total of 12 in all.
Okay, yeah. So I was expecting to be about 50% of a jump. For it to be substantial enough to make this one of the major points of upgrading, it'd have to be at least 12 missiles. I would have thought going from 8 to 10 is a bit like 2 more missiles. It is a decent jump, but 4 more extra missiles, 50% increase is actually very... you got 2 of these aircraft in the air, right, with 12 each. That's the same as having 3 in the air. Do you know what I mean? Wait, did I say that correctly? If you have 2 of these in the air, yeah, it's the same as having 3 of the previous ones in the air. Do you know what I mean? Like, that in itself is more important, I think. That's when you actually start making substantial increases on firepower.
Thanks to advanced missile and bomb ejector rack, the F-15EX has a total of 23 weapon stations, compared to 17 on the older F-15E.
Wow. More options.
In terms of raw capability, the F-15EX flown in the Eglin tests does appear to be the most heavily armed fighter jet of all time.
That's pretty sick.
Even assuming a low probability of kill of 50% per AMRAAM missile, the F-15EX, as configured, could knock down at least 6 enemy fighters. Its 3 JAS-some cruise missiles, each with a range of 250 miles and stealthy shaping to keep them off enemy radars.
That's pretty cool.
Mean the F-15EX can strike 3 heavily defended targets with a high level of accuracy and confidence. Other aircraft can carry more bombs or more explosive by weight. The older F-15E Strike Eagle can carry up to 15 Mk-82 500-pound unguided bombs or 5 2,000-pound laser-guided bombs.
Wow.
Concept artwork for the F-A-18E Super Hornet has it carrying up to 14 air-to-air missiles. But in each case, the aircraft is heavily weighted towards air-to-air combat or air-to-ground combat.
So it is that, you know, hard balance between weight and the amount of missiles it can use. It's not a case of just being able to fit on more brackets and have more missiles on at the end of the day. The weight is what's really important, which, yeah, it makes sense, but I didn't think about that at first. When you start putting like massive payloads on there, then yeah, you're going to decrease the amount of stuff you can have on it. So that's incredibly important.
The F-15EX's fighting load is balanced, allowing it to unleash its JAS-some missiles at enemy targets and then immediately proceed to take on a totally different mission, like engaging enemy aircraft.
That's pretty cool.
Why can the F-15EX carry such a ridiculously overpowered load, while the F-35 Lightning it can't? Stealth fighter.
Well, the F-35, the stealth fighter has to have the missiles interior to keep that stealth capabilities, doesn't it? That's one of the big stresses about stealth stuff, is that as soon as you open that thing on the bottom there, you're going to get pinged on a radar, right? Or from what I've read. And so everything has to be internalized and then pulled out in the last minute when you You got to pull out in the last minute so that people don't ping you on the radar. Do you know what I mean? You got to pull out in the last minute. You know what I mean?
Must carry all of their weapons internally to preserve the advantages of their anti-radar design. Hanging bombs, missiles,
There you go.
targeting pods, and fuel tanks off the wings and fuselage of a F-35 makes them much more detectable by enemy radars.
Yeah.
The F-35 only has so much room inside its internal weapons bays.
Yeah, that makes
The
sense.
F-15EX isn't a stealthy design, so it is free to carry whatever it wants, with the caveat that the more weapons there are on board, the slower the plane will fly and the less maneuverable it will be.
Yeah. Unless it gets all them friggin' bombs sent ASAP, then it can be more maneuverable.
Takeaway. The F-15EX Eagle II has been proposed as a missile truck for the lightly armed F-35, launching AMRAAM air-to-air missiles against targets a hidden stealth fighter can see.
See, I think, yeah, that's incredibly important. But what I do think is equally as important is that they're testing all this new software and hardware on the interior. I think that is not spoke about enough on this video. Honestly, I think that's incredibly important because if you think about it, this open software is going to be in the 6th gen fighters and all that lot. So for it to be debugged and tested now is incredibly valuable to them other aircraft. You know? So as a producer, I don't know who does it, Boeing or Lockheed Martin or whoever it is, they're probably more interested in that than they are how much weapons it can hold. Because it's just future-proofing themselves on future iterations and less time debugging and more information on what works, what doesn't work, and so on.
Alternatively, it could launch air-to-ground weapons against targets discovered by a F-35 flying silently above the battlefield.
Yeah.
While a missile truck may not sound as glamorous or sexy as a stealth fighter. It could win wars in the future when the Air Force must fight outnumbered, thousands of miles from home.
Yep.
Over the few decades the F-15 Eagle and all of its variants have flown, the platform has achieved an honorable legacy. The airframe has undergone several facelifts over its lifetime and continues to tout improvements to its capabilities. Even following the production of newer 5th-generation platforms like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II.
God, we must be so close to 6th gen. Like, we must be so close for it to get revealed soon. It's got to be within the next 2-3 years that 6th gen gets revealed. Even quicker if it starts kicking off more with Russia and all that lot. I think it's going to be very interesting to watch this space, you know?
The F-15E Strike Eagle is not going anywhere in the near future.
Let's say the F-15 mission is adapting to pace challenges, with the new F-15EX Eagle II joining the fleet. Bringing advanced technologies to complement 5th-generation fighters. And by providing nuclear capabilities with the F-15E Strike Eagle. These multi-role fighters have superior range to dominate with long-range weapons, both air to surface and air to air. Why has this all of a sudden gone to, like, text? That's very weird, isn't it? And there's, like, 3 minutes left on it. Oh, this is just general footage of the aircraft now. That's really interesting way that they've done this video. I'm just going to flick through this footage because we've got all the information that I think is important. The rest of it's just general footage. If you want to watch all this without me waffling over it, then you can go and do that by going clicking on the link down below. They look so cool. I wonder where this is. These mountains look like the mountains in Utah, in Colorado, the Rocky Mountains. Spent a lot of time around there. Although it looks a bit hotter there, so this could be Arizona or something. Or it could be somewhere foreign. I'm trying to, like, looking at these colors around here. Where do you think this is? Look at this. This could be Arizona or New Mexico or something. Interesting video. Let me know what you think about the what is it? The F-15EX Eagle 2. What a name. Holy. I think it's interesting. I think it did talk a lot about payload, which is incredibly important. Obviously, the more missiles you can get down, the better. But I honestly think the biggest advantage is testing this new software. I really do. And I mean, I'm saying that I went to school for computer science, so at the same time, that's something that I think is overlooked very easily. And so, yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. There'll be a link for the original video in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps with that mysterious YouTube algorithm. I am so close to getting gaming videos up. Let me know what you want to see from me with gaming. Until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.